What is going on, faithful? We have a jam-packed Friday show. We have so many updates to cover. So much has been going on with Brock Purdy, Trent Williams, and the rest of the San Francisco 49ers as we get prepared for this game against the Bengals, a must-win game. And the 49ers need all hands on deck in order to get this W. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all the news that has happened today throughout the week. And then we are going to do our typical prediction Friday show. And we are going to see how confident we are heading into this game against the Bengals. But you guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and we got some stuff to talk about today. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. How are we doing, sourdough squad? It's a spooky Friday. We're less than a week away from Halloween. And but we got some not so spooky updates. So I'm really excited to kind of react and share to these with you guys. And then what we'll do is we will transition into our typical prediction Friday show. But today is going to be ruled by the updates because they have been some very big ones, especially regarding your starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. But before we get going, let's shout out the SDS. Good to see the Bread Gang in the building. We got them checking in from Facebook, from YouTube. Was good, everybody? Smash that like button because we got some good news today. It's been a stressful week. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I, I, I don't want to subliminally take shots at Oh, what's good, my guy? What's good, Mustafa? Yeah, we chopped it up in the airport while our flight was delayed for 3 hours or whatever the hell it was. But I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little nervous with the thought of you know Sam Darnold. We're gonna trot out Sam Darnold in a game where the San Francisco 49ers need to get the W. I was like, man, I'm uh, eh. I was like, I don't know about this, man. I don't know. But we got some good news today. So, and this is how I'm interpreting it. The trends are pointing us into the right direction. So I'm really, really happy about it. Um, this is how it goes. Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media today. We obviously got reports from practice today as well. 2 days in a row, Brock Purdy has practiced. Yesterday was a limited participation, which was a good sign. Today, full participation. Let's go. Needed that. Full participation. And so that is a step in the right direction. Now, there's one more hurdle to cover, and that hurdle falls tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final tests for Brock Purdy to be able to clear the concussion protocol. So he's technically still in the protocol. He's in this fourth of 5 steps. He will have his fifth and final rounds of tests done tomorrow. And if he passes, lock it in. He will be starting against the Bengals. Man, I need it. I need it. I need Brock out here, man. I need Brock out here to be able to play against the Bengals, man. He gives us our best shot to win, and we need him out there. And so we are trending in the right direction, and it does appear Brock Purdy will be up for the Bengals. Obviously, one little test to go, but I would, if I had to put money on it, I would be putting money on Brock Purdy will be under center for the San Francisco 49ers this Sunday. Whew, it's a big game. It's a big game, right? Kind of feels like we're creeping on like that playoff vibe again. You know, uh we get the we fall two in a row and it's like, oh, we're all on high alert. We're like, uh-oh, uh-oh, time to circle the wagons, time to get after it. I see the Purdy slander in the chat. To be honest with you, I don't know who that guy is. I've never seen him in this chat before. Clearly, seeking some attention, and to be honest, didn't really feel like giving him any of that attention. But hey, feel free to find your exit because we do not slander Brock Purdy here. And if you would like to continue, then we will put you on timeout. It's that easy. It's that easy. But this is a big game. It's against a big time opponent. Uh, we know the Bengals are good, man. The Bengals haven't started off super hot. Obviously, we know that the 49ers, or excuse me, the Bengals, Joe Burrow, he's dealing with a calf injury to start the year. Just wasn't all that great for the Bengals, but let's not sleep on the Bengals. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, decent offensive line. They got some dogs over there. They got a good defensive line. Trey Hendrickson, which is going to bring us to Trent Williams. Trent Williams is also questionable. To me, when I see Trent Williams is questionable, I'm hyped. That to me is significantly better than doubtful. We have seen hundreds of players play with the questionable tag. We see it all the time. So the fact that Trent Williams has been upgraded from last week's doubtful to this week questionable, that is positive in my opinion. That to me tells me Trent Williams will be playing. And with the fact that Trent Williams will be playing, he will also have a two additional weeks to rest, rehabilitate, do whatever he needs to do to get the ankle right after this game. Trent's going to be good to go. I got to watch Trent in the pregame warmup last week. He was walking around. He looked fine. I didn't see him limping. Didn't see any of that stuff. And it was reported from practice today that Trent Williams was spotted in his jersey. He wasn't at the beginning of practice, but as media left, he came out in his jersey. So he I haven't seen any official report about his participation in practice today, but that's a good sign that he was in jersey out there potentially ready to go. So I would also bet money that Trent Williams will play, and we need Trent. Big Trent out there for sure. But also shout out to Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore played a hell of a game against the Vikings. He stepped in, did what he needed to do. So credit to Jalen Moore for filling some big shoes in the game. Unfortunately, 49ers didn't come away with the W, but he did what he needed to do and provided me with a little bit more confidence moving forward that if Trent Williams can't go, Jalen Moore shows he could be a guy. So I'm happy with that because we're keeping it a buck. Jalen Moore hasn't always shown that. He's shown it in spurts, but he looked really good. Really happy with how Moore looked against the Vikings. So if that's our backup left tackle, I feel much better. Feel much better with that performance by Jalen. So good job to Jalen. But it does look like Trent Williams will be back, and we need Trent Williams because Trey Hendrickson or Trey Hendrickson, whatever his name is a quality edge rusher. So we are going to have to get after it. What about you? Let's poll the chat right now. Let's poll the chat. This is if you had to bet $1,000,000. So right now you have $1,000,000, but you can't hold on to it. You gotta bet it. But you have the opportunity not to because you don't want to lose it. But if you bet it, you get an additional $1,000,000. Okay. So this is the question: will Brock Purdy play against the Bengals? Yes, if you think he will. No, if he isn't. Yes, that means you're betting your million and that you're looking to double it. No, you're like, nah, it's not. I'm not. I don't feel confident enough to bet my millions. I'm going to hold on to my million and I'm not going to bet it. Is he going to play? Yes, he will play. No, nah, don't feel comfortable enough to bet my million on it. I'm gonna hold on to my millions. You tell him. Scared money don't make no money, baby. Scared money don't make no money. So I see people dropping their millions in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. No negative vibes. All right, I'll put him on timeout, see what happens. See if he comes back with a better attitude. I put him on timeout. I respect the chat today. I respect the chat wanting good vibes today. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the good vibes. So we got someone stanking up the vibes. Put them on timeout. Give them a chance to correct their vibes. They want to come back and partake in a vibey conversation, then they can. But then if they don't, we'll just boot them. It's that simple. It's that simple. But so far, looks like a majority of the chat does believe Brock Purdy will play. They're betting their millions. I love to see it. Love to see all of it. I'm betting that million too. I'm betting that million that Brock is going to play. And, the fact that he's practiced this week makes me extremely confident. If he didn't practice, if he didn't log a full participation today, I wouldn't be as confident. Um, but I'm very confident. I'm very confident he's going to play. Same with Trent Williams. So I'm very interested to see how this team responds. You know why I am? This is the first time this week that the 49ers really have been under scrutiny. We've heard all week about zero blitz. It's been zero blitz gate all week. We've heard Kyle Shanahan speak on it multiple times. We've heard Steve Wilkes speak on it. We've heard John Lynch speak on it. And I don't love those vibes because although Kyle was being transparent and being honest, and I have no problems with anything he said, we just know how it goes. You say something out loud to the media, to the fan base, and it gets people spinning. And they go, oh, should we be concerned? Does this mean Steve Wilkes and Kyle Shanahan are on the same page? La da da da. So there's been a lot of focus directed at the 49ers defensive coordinator, defensive problems, all these different types of things. So what I'm very interested in seeing, do we get a circle the wagons type of energy from this team against on Sunday? Or do we get a fractured energy? I think this is a very crucial point in the 49ers season where they got to gel, get back together, and we don't want any of these distractions. We don't want to be talking about defensive play calls for the entirety of the week and what we should do, what we shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get back to getting dubs, man. We got to get the energy back on track. That's where we're at. And we got to get this stream up to 100 likes. I agree with Roberto. Smash that like button. I think this is a good get back game. I think this is going to be a good game to remind our fan base, to remind all the outside noise and people, and also remind themselves that, like, we are the top dogs. We are the hunted. Remember, we are the guys that the other teams are trying to take down, not the other way around. Get that confidence back up. Everyone flying to the football. This is a great opportunity for the defense to get after it. I really hope that we see this team get back after it. So I think this is a great opportunity. Great opportunity for the 49ers to turn this round right into the bye. It's a crucial game. It's a mini playoff game. And honestly, I'm about it. I'm about it. I want the stakes to be high. I want there to be something on the line. I want there to be I want this game to mean something. And I think it does. I think with all the scenarios playing out, I think this game means something to these boys in that locker room. A lot of noise, a lot of chirping directed their way. It's time to get back to winning football. And what that also means is it's time to get into Prediction Friday. Ooh, it's spooky season, baby. It's spooky season. And we got a good team coming to town. They got some dogs on that roster. Let's take a look. We got Joe Burr, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. We got some dogs coming to town. We got a challenge headed our way. Bozzy Man says, do you think it's Debo Trent who provide emotional leadership? It's like the entire team's energy and confidence is off without Debo. They're leading them. I think there's multiple guys that fall into this category. Debo and Trent are definitely at the top of the list. I would also throw George Kittle into that mix. I would also throw Fred Warner into that mix of emotional leaders. I think those would be the top of my list right there of those guys. Do I think it's off without Debo and Trent out there? Could be. Could be. But these guys need to have enough juice that if one of those guys aren't out on the field, they need to be able to bring their own juice. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get the thought process. Definitely want to have your emotional leaders out there, but we got a lot of emotional leaders. We got a lot of guys that can fill that role. We got a lot of alphas on this team. So we'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it progresses moving forward. If that does become a trend, obviously Debo not going to play this game, and so we'll see. But when I look at the defense, I look at Fred. Fred is the emotional leader of the defense, and so so I don't think the defense is impacted by the loss. No Trent Williams, no Debo. I don't think they're impacted at all. I think that's completely different scenario. So I could buy it on the offensive side. I don't buy it on the defensive side. Defensive side, they got to do a little soul searching and get it together. So when we look at this offense, Jonah Williams, right tackle, Alex Kappa, right guard, D2 legend, Cordell Volson. I believe he was NDSU. I think he blocked for Trey Lance. Orlando Brown Jr. I really like Alex Kappa quite a bit. I wanted the 49ers to draft him out of I think it was Humboldt State is where he played. But the skill positions for the Bengals is what we need to be on high alert for. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the 49ers respond, especially last week after being effectively an open door when it came to giving up first downs. So the biggest adjustment that I'm looking for from this defense is they need to clamp. They need to tighten up. Like, come on now. We know how good this defense can be. We know how quality of players this team has. We know that they fly around to the football. They got to tighten up, though. I don't know what's been going on these last 2 weeks. Um, they basically have gotten dominated 2 weeks in a row, very uncharacteristic of this unit. They got to get after it, man. They got to look themselves in the mirror. They got to take all the chirping, all the talking. Hey, you guys know me. I'm a very positive, kind of glass half full kind of guy, and I'm even out here calling out the defense. Like, defense, what are we doing? What are we doing out here? This isn't you guys. Like, this isn't what we've become accustomed to. And they were just like they were like one of those, those doors you walk into, like the mall. They just kind of rotate in. You just kind of funnel in. You want your first down? Come on, funnel in. We got to change that. We got to be more dominant up front and stop the run. We got to make this team one dimensional, and we got to get back to our ways of being run stuffers. And we've been giving up too many yards on the ground, too many. And Joe Mixon is a type of guy who can make you pay. So they need to do a little bit of soul searching. This off coverage stuff, I think they need to change that. This cushion, I would much rather live and die with the 49ers living in the hip pocket of these tight ends and wide receivers than just giving them first downs. Instead of just giving them certain leverages, we got to tighten up. Last week was unacceptable. Type of play, like that type of play isn't winning the 49ers any type of football games. Obviously, you got to give credit to the other team, but when you watch it, you just watch guys that it didn't feel like they were playing to their responsibilities, and it just turned into a first down fest. It was crazy. So I would love to see these guys switch it up a little bit, kind of abandon that off coverage, man. Like, try to stick on these guys like white on rice from the very beginning. Quit just giving them everything, man. Just stop. Just I don't know. I'm just kind of the mindset of like it's worked in a sense of a bend but don't break approach. But last week we got bent and we got broke at the same time. So let's switch it up a little bit. So one of the things that we're going to be looking for is, what is the game plan looking like? How are the players adjusting to all those different types of things? It's going to be very, very fascinating to see. But let's do what we typically do, and let's go. Who's going to be the defensive player of the game? So, who's going to step up after last week? Drop it in the chat. This is where we look to you to tell us who you think the defensive player of the game will be against the Bengals. And it would be very appropriate for one of these guys to come out and ball out and make us forget these last two games and be like, that's what we're talking about. That's what we've been looking for. We've been waiting for these guys to show up. We've been waiting for one of these dudes to step in and ball out. I want to see someone on defense wreck this game. I want to see someone go nuclear. I want to see someone take all the BS the last 2 weeks, funnel it in to this mindset of we are erasing these guys. I want to see who's that gonna be. Who's that player on defense that is going to take all this noise, all this mess, and be like, you know what? F it. 150 miles an hour, balls to the wall, unleash, unleash all this energy. Who's it going to be? Let's see what the chat's talking about. Greenlaw. Greenlaw, hey, he's a guy from last week that we've come to know is playing really, really well. He could have had a better game too. Hargrave could absolutely be that guy. I still love everything that I've seen from Hargrave. I think he's still a phenomenal addition. I think this got to be a Bosa game. I'm kind of with you here. I'm kind of with you guys here. I feel like this might need to be a. I think everyone's gotta have a day, but with how much people been talking about Bosa, how much people have been talking about where's Bosa, um, all this stuff. Yeah, Hufanga's been kind of quiet this year. So who's it gonna be? I kind of feel you guys. I think Fred Warner needs to be having a good game as well. He gave up some plays. He made some plays, but he gave up some plays as well. How could it be anyone other than Bosa? So Bosa and Warner, Bosa and Gregory. I see All Pro Fred Warner, 54. It needs to be Bosa, but I think Dre Greenlaw will knock someone out. I like that. I like that. I like that. We got Roberto says we need 3 sacks on Burrow. Brian says, no, I want 6 sacks. I agree. I agree. This defensive line, I think there needs to be an opportunity for this defensive line to turn all the way up and get after the Bengals. Needs to happen. I like this one, though. Steve Wilkes, have a day. Cornerbacks, Ward, Lenore, Oliver, need to have a day. D linemen, all of them. Bosa also going to have a huge game. Gregory, Warner. Sue says, I'd like to see Armstead, Fredre, Bosa, Hargrave. AM. Why is AM escaping me? Let's see. Hufanga with 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 PBU, 4 tackles for loss. That would be something. Fred Warner doing his job. Needs to be Hargrave, Bosa, Armstead, Bosa, Jackson. I agree with Huff. Burrow loves to throw. I see Hufanga coming out. Bosa, the rhetoric has to be getting to him. 100% it's getting to him. 100% it's getting to him. He hears it. He's seeing it. He's seeing people chirp at him. So I think for me, if I had to pick defensive player of the game, Nick Bosa. Let's go, Nick. Let's go. It's time. It's time for a multi-sack game. I'm not sure we've gotten a multi-sack game yet from Nicky Bosa this year. It's time, baby. It's time. I want to see, Nick Bosa and Joe Burrow, good buddies. I want to see Burrow fighting for his life. That's what I want to see. I want to see Burrow just just cry like tears. Tears coming down his face. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Burrow to be scared. I want Bosa to get after it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Bosa, but that also goes throughout to the defensive line. This this is a big, big, big test for Bosa and this defensive line. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys get after him. So that's going to be my defensive player of the game. So I see you guys talking some trade. We'll get to some trade talk at the very end because I have some thoughts on some trade stuff as well. So I'm itching to talk trade as well. I'm itching. I'm itching. So I'm gonna talk some trade stuff here at the end because you guys know I've got thoughts on the 49ers making some moves because it's needed. And after listening to John Lynch talk on KNBR this morning, I think the 49ers going to be active, baby. I think they're going to be active. So we're going to do some trade talk, but we'll do it at the end. So let's take a look at this defense. Sam Hubbard, pretty quality edge rusher. DJ Reader, we know him from his time with he was with Seattle, right? I'm not tripping. I could be tripping. He played with Seattle, right? I thought he did. No, he's with Houston Bengals. So completely wrong. But he's a veteran. He gets after you. From the interior defensive line, I like BJ Hill as well. So their defensive line's pretty solid. Trey Hendrickson is going to be their top rusher. We've seen Hendrickson give Trent Williams fits before. So that's going to be a big task, especially for Hendrickson, who is going to be facing Trent Williams, who's, probably a little bit banged up still. So we'll see how that ultimately plays out. But another big test for the 49ers offensive line. They got Pratt, Wilson, Davis. Gaither is out, so they're going to have someone else fill in. Chidobe Awuzie, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, Dax Hill, Nick Scott. Pretty decent secondary. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the 49ers do against this defense. I do think that the 49ers have a better matchup offensively versus this defense. I think the 49ers offense should outmatch this defense. I think, again, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk all should have some plays. against this defense. So I'm looking forward to seeing which one of those guys it is. But that is where we look to you in the chat to drop your offensive player of the game. Is this going to be a Kittle game? The last time the San Francisco 49ers played the Bengals in 2021, George Kittle went berserk. He went absolutely insane. So drop your offensive player of the game in the chat. Is it going to be Brock Purdy? Is it going to be Christian McCaffrey? Brandon Ayuk? Are we going to have a kind of dark horse player of the game? Maybe a Jordan Mason, maybe Jawan Jennings or Ronnie Bell. Who's going to have a day on the 49ers offense? Drop your offensive players of the game, who you think it is, in the chat. And let's see what we get. Who feel it in your bones? Who's going to have a day? It feels like CMC always has a day. So if you do pick CMC, you're probably going to better odds that you're right than you're wrong. But let's see what the chat's talking about. Ayuk gonna have a day. Hey, I don't know what was going on. I was sitting right behind Brandon Ayuk all game last game. He was pissed off about something. He was pissed off, man. Like I'm talking about, I'm not trying to air out any dirty laundry or nothing, but he's slamming his helmet. He looked angry, shaking his head. BA wasn't happy last week. And as we know, he disappeared from the second half. So was there something going on? I don't know. But could we get a redemption game from Ayuk? Because he didn't seem very pleased with last week. So maybe this week we see BA go berserk and switch it up here. I could see BA, especially with Brock playing, I could see BA going off for sure. Every game should be a Kittle game. Brocktober, baby. Purdy game ball. BA, CMC, BA, Brock, Jennings, Ayuk, CMC. Boomer says I'm feeling Kittle and BA both go over 100 yards. CMC, Ayuk, BA, Kittle, Juice. We get a Juice game, 2 touchdowns for Juice potentially. Bengals allow tight ends to go off. So Kittle, Juice, Cap, Brock all day. Burford player of the game. Okay. Jennings, a few explosives, a key thirds, and a touchdown. Needs to be Brock. BA. McLeod is due. Debo Samuel is out. He is not playing. So no Debo Samuel. Bellin Winstead. Winstead hasn't been active for a game this year yet. So I'm not sure we're going to see any Winstead out there. Purdy, CMC will get his 17th touchdown. I think he's on the verge of breaking the record. I think if CMC gets that 17th touchdown in 17 consecutive games, I think he ties the record. So we'll see. Need to get Juice more involved in the offense. Yeah, we really could. We really could. Would love to see Mason get 10 to 15 touches. At this rate, I don't know if we're going to get Jordan Mason getting 10 to 15 touches. We're lucky if we get 5 touches for Mason. BA, 100 plus yards, 1 or 2 tutties. I could see that. Ready to parlay CMC anytime touchdown. Man, if you've been betting that touchdown for CMC, you've been winning big money. Let's see. Ayuk, CMC, Kittle. Kittle gonna have a 3-piece tutty meal. Okay. Ayuk. Oh, we got Austria checking in. Let's go. What's good, Austria? Juice scores another touchdown or 2. Ayuk is the number 1 open wide receiver in the entire league according to advanced stats. I would believe it. Elijah Mitchell, last 2 games, had 3 carries for -4 yards. Whew. Yikes. Ray. Bryant Cope calling for the Moody redemption game. Brock Purdy, Bell. I like the Niners O-line call out. I like that. Niners O-line are in for a big game. We got a couple O-line call outs. Let's go. Warner as in Charlie Warner. Ray punt return. Kickoff for a touchdown. Chris Conley, Chris Conley is probably going to play. I think he got called up last week. I didn't really see Chris Conley in the game at all, though. Purdy will have a huge game. I think Purdy's going to ball. I'm really happy with how Purdy responded from the Browns game. Obviously, how it ended wasn't ideal, but it does appear he was concussed there at the end of the game. So I'm gonna give him a little slack. CMC had the record. Oh, he has. No, are you sure? I could be wrong though. I need to score tonight. Hey, good luck, Roberto. Hey, we're sending all the good vibes to Roberto. You got a date tonight. Make sure you wash behind your ears. Make sure your breath smelling good. Make sure you put on the deodorant. Make sure you're ready to go, man. Looking good, feeling good, look good, feel good, play good, or whatever the hell he says. We're riding with Roberto tonight, man. Hopefully you make it into the end zone. Pro tip: don't talk about football unless you know for a fact she's a football fan. If she's not a football fan, don't even bring it up. Don't even bring it up unless you get like a little glimpse, like I don't know, maybe drop something, like to see if she bites on football talk. If she instantly skirts that football talk, do not talk about football. Do not talk about the 49ers. If you do get one that's like about it, then you're golden. You're golden because we already know you're gamed up and you know what you're talking about. But if she's not, don't force it. Don't force it. It's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. If she's not a football fan, then you know you're just gonna have to put in a little extra work, and you're gonna have to flip her down the road and bring her on slowly, but not just yet. Okay, we see you, my guy. We see you. So he's already set up for success. He knows where his strengths and his weaknesses are. He set himself up for success. We see you, my guy. He's set up for success. So he's already got it locked in. She likes football. You're in there. You're in there. I love this, Charlene. She says, my husband hates he can't shut me up about football. I love that. I love that. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Um, all right, all right, all right, all right. Back on track. Back on track. Um, offensive player of the game. Offensive player of the game. I'm gonna go BA. I'm gonna go BA. I need BA to have a big game. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for BA to come out here, get after it, and make some plays. So I'm going BA. BA feast. Brock Purdy back. Let's get BA fed. I want to see him force fed out here. That's what I'm looking for. So give me BA all day. I want 2 touchdowns from BA. I want to see him cooking dudes. I want to see blender ankles. But you know what time it is? It's time for the bold takes. Give me your bold takes for 49ers versus Bengals. What is your bold take? You know we like specifics around here, so I want to see you drop it in the chat. Give me your bold takes. Bold take. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Who's gonna be the boldest of them all? Bold take, Nick Bosa, 0 sacks. I'm kind of enjoying that reverse psychology. I'm actually going to allow that. I think that is a phenomenal answer. That Nick Bosa, bold take, 0 sacks, because I actually am going to treat it like reverse psychology. So I'm okay with it actually, because I think Bosa's going to ball. So the fact that your bold take is 0 sacks, I like that. I do. I do. I do. Because I don't think it's going to be true. But something about that makes me feel like I'm about to play. Like, oh yeah, 0. 0? Okay. All right. About to prove you wrong, my guy. D-line 4 sackaroonies. Like it. Bold take. Bosa 2 sacks. BA 100 yards. 1 touchdown. Brock throws 3. Love to see a 3 touchdown game from Brock Purdy. Brock has a better QBR than Burrow. Ooh, that will be a fascinating storyline. Brock Purdy outplays Joe Burrow. Bosa 2 sacks. Bold take. Moody makes all his attempts. Yeah, we need that. Randy Gregory gets 1.5 sacks. Kittle has 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. BA 105, 1 touchdown. Okay. All pro Fred pick 6 and 2 forced fumbles, 15 plus tackles. I like that. Defense get back on track with 3 sacks, forced fumble, 2 INTs. Hell yeah. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this defense to feast, man. I really, really hope we see a defense come out that is just possessed. Just absolutely possessed. Bosa, 2 sacks, scoop and score. Fred is going to get that pick 6. Need it. Warner pick 6. McCaffrey 3 yards, 2 rush, 1 reception. Interesting. More reverse psychology. Demo shuts down haters by shutting down his wide receiver and gets an INT or two. It's a big game. Big game for the cornerbacks. Cornerbacks been under scrutiny all year. They got some big tests coming up. Ayuk 2 touchdowns. Kittle gets 2 pancake blocks. I like that. BA 175 and 2 tuds. Bold take Sam Darnold's not playing. Not happening. Okay, this makes more sense. It meant 3 touchdowns, not 3 yards. CMC 3 touchdowns. Moody 4 field goals and the game winner. I need it. I need a Moody game winner, man. We need to keep switching the narrative. I like it. I like it. I want the Moody game winner. I want that stress and then the relief from the stress. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Ayuk's gonna have a big game. Oh, Albert says we lose the game for Moody missing the game winner again. Oh my God. Moody misses first kick. Robbie comes in like stone cold. Glass breaks. Comes from the rafters. Yeah, I don't think so. Bold take. Defense gets 4 turnovers, 2 scores. Bold take. Nick Bosa 2 touchdowns. Kittle 1 touchdown. Brock 1 touchdown. Fred 1 interception. Bold take. Mitch punts it within the 5. We get a safety. I like that one. That's a very specific one. I like that bold take. Bosa strip sack. Greenlaw 1. Forced fumble. Warner 1 interception. Drake with the sack. Ooh, we need Drake to show up, man. We need Drake to show up. CMC goes for over 200 combined yards. Bosa 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Bosa a sack and a half. A strip, but will lose. Kittle gets into the end zone. Fern Dog says, let's suit up Brad and get this dub. Hashtag Niner gang. Put me in, coach. Even though my back doesn't work. Put me in, coach. We'll do something. We'll do something. Let's see. All right. So, like I said, we're going to do our final score prediction. Then we're going to do some trade talk because I know you guys want to talk trades. I know you guys want to talk trades. Let's see. Block that guy. I think he's out of here. 300 yards throwing. Brock kills Joe in this game. Would love to see it. Bell gets a touchdown. Kittle and Bell have Joker TD celebration. Oh. CMC over 100. Let's see. Two sacks, scoop and score. Gregory Force. Holy crap. Kittle TD, BA 2 TDs, 1 pick 6. Roberto says the next Moody miss should be his last for us. Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. Man, we need Moody to bounce back. We need Moody to bounce back. He's under fire. He is under fire. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, but it's time. It's time. I'm curious. After the 49ers have come off 2 straight losses, we haven't scored 30 points or more in back-to-back weeks. What do you think the score prediction is going to be? Drop it in the chat. Score prediction time. Score prediction time. What is your score prediction? 49ers have lost the last 2 in a row. They haven't scored 30 points, but they're back at home. Home crowd's going to be behind them. Let's see. We're going to have any weather this weekend. Let me see. We're going to have any weather this weekend. Nope. Sunny skies all Sunday. No weather issues. Do the 49ers get back in their groove? Derek says, I think it's 24-23, 28-17, 33-23, 31-14, 27-17, 34-13, 28-10, 3-0, huh? 34-17, 24-21, Niners 28, Bengals 13, 35-24, 38-14. Okay. I see you. I see you back to cooking. 34-16, Niners D will get takeaways and give the O short fields. Would love that. 30-17, 31-27. That's a close one. 28-21. We're going back to 35-14. 3-0 Niners win. So on the leg of Jake Moody and no one else. 26-13 Niners. 23-21 Niners. Moody walk-off field goal. 30-17. 34-21. 24-23. So a close one. Defense needs to come up big. 31-3. Woo! That's a blowout. 38-21. 28-24. Bengals score one towards the end. Make it closer than it is. Okay. 35-14. Niners win by 10 when Purdy plays. 21-34. 49ers win. 31-17. Niners win. 27-24. All right. So I appreciate all your guys' confidence. I do, because I would love for this to be a blowout win. Until proven otherwise, I feel like this will be a closer game. I feel like the Bengals are going to have ample time to prepare for the 49ers. And I think they're going to make it challenging. You know, I want to see the defense rebound, but I think it's TBD with what version of the defense we're going to get. I think the 49ers are going to score points. So I'm thinking this is going to be like I think I kind of agree with like what Travis was saying. I'm kind of in that same boat. Travis had it at 28-24. I'm thinking like 27-21 or 27-24. Something that is like a one possession game. I think it's going to be a one possession game, whether it's a field goal to win it whether it's 7 points. I think it's going to be a one possession game. It's going to be a game that kind of volleys back and forth. I think the 49ers pull it out in the end. So I'm thinking like 27-24, something like that. Uh, and I hope that because I've picked a close game, that it is indeed a blowout. That's where I'm at. But also on top of that, just win. Just win. That's it. Just win. This could be the ugliest game I've ever seen. I just want them to win. I don't care about style points at this point in the season. I know before we were at a certain point when the 49ers were 5-0, people were complaining about how stylistically the 49ers were winning games. I don't care about style points right now. I really don't. I care about W's. If it's ugly, if it's a drag out dog fight, fine. I'm here for it. If it is overcoming adversity, if it's overcoming turnovers, if it's overcoming all these different types of things, fine. I don't care. I don't need a pretty win. I just need a W. That is it. I just need the W. Just give me the W. Don't care how pretty it looks. I really don't. I'm over pretty wins. I just want to see this team win. When the clock strikes 0, I want to see a W in the win column. That's it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care how it looks. Obviously, we'll care, but in all reality, I bet $1 million that Brock Purdy's playing, so I think that should tell you your answer. I bet $1 million that Brock Purdy is going to be playing this game. So hopefully that tells you kind of what we're thinking. I mean, imaginary $1 million, but I do think that Brock is playing. If I had to put percentage chances on it, I'm at like 95% right now. I'm at like 95% that Brock is playing. I think he's playing. He's going to pass protocol tomorrow, and he's going to be starting. Brian says, I honestly prefer to see us win a close game because we're showing we can't so far. Not only a close game, I wouldn't be upset if the 49ers started out behind either. Listen, we're in like, we know we could win games when we're ahead, but we're like, this is like that. The reason why it kind of feels like a playoff game, it's like we've heard the players talk about it. We need to win the ugly games. We need to win the gritty games. We need to prove that we can come back and overcome adversity and fight through crap to be able to get the W. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really don't care how it looks. I just want to see them get the W. And even if that means they got to play from behind, if that means they've got to overcome some adversity in this game, it's fine with me. It's fine with me. So yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Except we need Moody to make his kicks. That's one. I think that's one non-negotiable. Is a lot of bad things can happen, but Moody missing his kicks can't be one of them. We need Moody to we need the Moody redemption arc quickly. So hopefully he gets it. Hopefully. Hey, I mean, picture this. scene setter, reminiscent of, I think it was 49ers Jaguars. I feel like that's what that game was when, when Robbie Gould kicked the game winner. Everyone's lifting him up, carrying him off the field on their shoulders. I feel like that would be a great game. I feel like that would be a great way to win with Jake Moody banging a 50-plus yarder game winner with time expiring, and the whole team lifts Moody off the field. All of Levi's Stadium, Moody, Moody. Like I want one of those redemption arcs. I will be stressing balls throughout that entire scenario of like being like, oh God, like it's come down to Jake Moody's leg. But the positives that would come from that would be huge. It would be huge. It would be the most stressful scenario that I could think of, but it would be huge for the 49ers to be able to get Moody in that spot and build up that confidence. Scary thought, though. Juan says our D needs to wake the F up. That they do. That they do. It's a big game for them. Big game against a lot of high-powered, high-quality weapons and a franchise top 5 quarterback. So it is a big game for this defense. So we got to see. We got to see what the 49ers do. All right, so I've seen you guys talking about this throughout the throughout the live. So let's talk about it. We are trade deadline. Trade deadline 1, I believe it's 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Halloween. So we are right up against it with the trade deadline. So who are the 49ers going to get? I think they're getting someone. I really do. I really think the 49ers are going to be aggressive at the deadline, and they have the opportunity to make a splash. But like I've said, I want to see 2 type of trades. I want to see a top tier CMC level trade, but I also want to see those 5th round Charles Omenihu type trades. I want to see both. I want to see swing for the fences, and I want to see bargain buys at the deadline. I'm looking for multiple players for the 49ers to go out here and get someone. So this is the thing. Brian Burns did not practice today. He popped up with a shoulder injury. He is trending towards actually not playing this weekend. So could that be an indication that Brian Burns actually is for sale? Daniel Jeremiah, super plugged in, one of the top draft analysts right now in the game, said on his podcast with Bucky Brooks, they were talking about trades for the 49ers. They were talking about potential wide receiver trades, guys that the 49ers could potentially look at wide receiver with Debo being down and adding some additional juice to the room, which I actually don't mind. I think we talked about yesterday, Wan'Dale Robinson. If you get a guy like Wan'Dale, that would be dope. But he brought up Brian Burns to the 49ers. Mind you, this was a guy who knew about 2 years ago that the 49ers were trying to trade for Sam Darnold. He talked about it almost weekly on his podcast about don't sleep on the 49ers and getting Sam Darnold. And so the rumors are the 49ers offered number 12 overall for Sam Darnold. That's the rumor from 2021, the year that the 49ers traded up to 3 to take Trey Lance. The rumor is they offered 12 overall to the Jets for Sam Darnold, and the Jets said no because they weren't sure at the time um, what they really wanted to do at the quarterback spot. And so the 49ers pivoted. They traded up to 3, and the rest is history. So the reason why I'm saying that is Daniel Jeremiah knows. Like, he knows things. So he's one of those guys. He's plugged in. He knows front office staff. He knows those types of people. So he brings up Brian Burns. And we've heard that Brian Burns, isn't for sale, but everyone's for sale. Everyone has a price. Brian Burns not practicing, not playing. Man, if you can get Brian Burns, do it. Do it. Do it. Brian Burns, Montez Sweat. Brian Burns, Montez Sweat. I'd consider Chase Young, but I'd prefer Sweat just due to doesn't have the same injury history. I would do Chase Young, but I would prefer Sweat, I think, at this point. So I think they need to go top tier edge. If they're swinging for the fences, they got to go top tier edge. I don't think Danielle Hunter's for sale anymore. I think with the Vikings beating the 49ers, that kind of puts them back on track for potentially getting a wild card spot. So I don't think they're going to be sellers. They actually could potentially be a buyer. We'll see. But if I'm the 49ers, I'm getting one of the best edge defenders that I can get my hands on. Brian Burns, Sweat, Chase Young, whoever is available, I am calling and I'm saying, what is it going to take? So that's number one. I'm going top tier, home run, get me a edge defender, preferably a speed rusher, because there are differences. Not all edge players are created equal. I want speed first. I'm very adamant on that as well. I want speed first. So get me speed on the edge. Cornerback, I don't think Surtain will get traded. I really don't. If he becomes available, of course, would love to think of something where you could get Surtain. I don't think he's going to be available, and if he is, talking about a king's ransom to go and get it. It might be cost prohibitive at the end of the day to get Surtain because I think they would ask for the moon. And I do think the 49ers are aggressive. I don't know if they're that aggressive to trade some serious package for Surtain. So maybe they try to go a different route, try to find a little bit more cost-effective option. I could see the 49ers trying to find a cornerback in that second, third round price range that is a starting caliber cornerback, might not be that same tier as Surtain, but they know they could plug and play. I've heard some teams, I think it was the Philadelphia Eagles, have shown interest in Kenny Moore, the nickel cornerback for the Colts. If you could get Kenny Moore on this team, that would be a huge upgrade to your cornerback room. It really would. I think Kenny Moore is a phenomenal player. He's a captain of that defense. He plays the nickel. He is extremely active. In coverage and in the run game. If you get a veteran player of Kenny Moore's caliber and you want to get that type of guy and you could maybe get him for a second or a third Yeah, I would do that. So if you could somehow swing Kenny Moore, also keep Kenny Moore away from the Eagles, that would be huge. Um, I don't think offensive line is as much of an issue. I don't think they're going to be able to find anything that would be a big instant impact. So I'm not sure offensive line is something that they trade for. I could see a potential option where they go after a wide receiver, maybe, um, just to get a little bit more speed, a little bit more wiggle in that wide receiver room. I'm thinking more of like a slot kind of wide receiver, like we talked about Wandell, like in that mold. If you can get some kind of shifty yards after catch type slot guy, I think that would be ideal because I don't think we really have that right now. So you get someone that's quicker than a hiccup in there. I think that would be ideal for sure. So I think the 49ers could make potentially 3 trades. I would be for it. Get me 2. For sure, get me the 1. For sure, get me an elite edge. Outside of that, um, I can work around other things. Uh, I can work around some of these other holes that the 49ers have because I do think fixing the edge supplements your secondary. We haven't been able to match the pass rush with coverage and vice versa. You go out and you bolster your pass rush, you're helping everyone on the defensive side of the football. So that's really the way I'm looking at it. Get me pass rush. Get me pass rush. I agree. I agree, Juan. Juan says I think we need more D-line help to sack the quarterback. 100% we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Oh man, if they can get me Brian Burns, I don't that might be I hate to say it. It would be up there with winning the Super Bowl for me personally. And I don't think there's really anything that would come close, to the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. Like the feeling that I would feel, than the 49ers trading for Brian Burns. Like that's one of the only things that would be up there with winning a Super Bowl is the 49ers trading for Brian Burns because I would go insane. I would lose my mind if the 49ers pulled that off. Because you guys know I have been campaigning for Brian Burns to the Niners for years. Even when it has not even been a possibility, I've still been like, well, here's how you get them. It would be crazy. It would be insane. Um, it would be crazy. Vishal says, after Burns or Sweat, do we go running back behind Christian McCaffrey or cornerback to help cover? I would go cornerback. I have a lot of faith in Jordan Mason. I think Elijah Mitchell can also be effective as a runner. I know he hasn't had a good year this year, but I'm for sure going cornerback if we got Burns or Sweat, I'm going cornerback. Like I said, you get like a Kenny Moore, veteran player, plug and play. Um, that would be huge. That would be huge for sure. I just don't know. I don't know how realistic Certain is, just for the sheer fact of how much he would cost. He would be so expensive. He would be so expensive. He's probably the most expensive player on the market right now. Like if you could take a look at any player on the open market potentially, Surtain by far has got to be the most expensive. Like by far. I would say his cost would be double the cost of Brian Burns. I would say double. Yeah, I would say double the price of what Brian Burns would cost. So I think it would be a phenomenal ad. I mean, you're talking about straight up lockdown. But it would cost. But hey, if you're going to make a move that's worth anything, it's going to cost. So we'll see. Man, I hope they get. Oh, I hope they get him. If they got Brian Burns, that would be nuts. That would be just absolutely redonkulous. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would assume that the 49ers make a move after Sunday. So I think it's going to go right up to the wire. I think after Sunday, that's when they're going to make a move. And we're going to see that we're competing too. We're competing with the Rams, we're competing with the Seahawks, we're competing with the Eagles, we could be competing with the Lions. We could be competing with multiple teams on players. So that's why I think they need to be aggressive, because it's not just like in a vacuum. Oh, how can we make our team better? It's all the teams around us are trying to make themselves better. And if we have the opportunity to block them, make them worse, and make us better, you gotta do it. If Brian Burns is talking with Philadelphia, if Brian Burns is talking with the Seattle Seahawks, who just put their top pass rusher on IR, you can't let that happen. You can't let Brian go to Seattle, or I will freaking lose my mind. Can't do it. Can't do it. Burns and Chin, possible. I don't think Chin's going to be traded because he's on IR. So I don't think he's going to get moved. Chin's hurt. He's on IR. I don't think he'll be available till like December. So I don't think Chin's getting moved. I think he could have gotten moved prior, but I don't think he will. He's on IR. I don't think you can move him. Do we make the call for D Hop? I would. I'm a huge D Hop guy. I'm a big D Hop guy. So, but we do know that D Hop did call the Niners, and the Niners did not call him back, and he made a point to reference them. I would call D Hop. I think D Hop would be a quality wide receiver to add to the mix. He's still got it. And he's a guy you just throw it up to him. He's coming down with it. And you probably get him for cheap too. You probably get him for not a whole lot. I would. I love D Hop. D Hop's my guy. I would. And I think you get him for very cheap. Very cheap. You probably get him for like a fifth rounder. You probably get him for like a comp fifth. I would do it. I would do it. I love D Hop. That's my guy. I know 49er fans don't like him because he's played in AZ, but I like D-Hop. I followed his whole career. From Clemson to Texans to AZ. I know D-Hop very well. I would be hyped with this too. Get me Brian Burns, get me Kenny Moore, we're cooking. Give me Brian Burns, give me Kenny Moore, we're cooking. You want to throw in D-Hop for a fifth? Hey, we're cooking too. That's like I also want to get another edge. So we got to figure out one top tier edge and one Omenihu style edge. You know what I mean? Like I think we need more than one. I want the top tier speed rusher, and I want that 5th round guy with upside. Come on, John Lynch. It's your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine, Johnny boy. Let's go. Hey, if John Lynch trades for Brian Burns, I'm building the statue. We're building a statue for John Lynch. No John Lynch slander will ever be accepted at all. John Lynch will get a lifetime contract. I will make sure that we build a statue of John Lynch outside of Levi Stadium if he goes and gets me Brian Burns. Like it will happen. He will be the greatest GM to ever live. There's no questions about it. He will be the greatest GM to ever walk this planet. Roberto says Brian Burns signing live will be fire. Y'all know where to tune in if it happens because we're going live and we're burning the whole internet down if that happens. Talking Head says players with any kinds of concussive or subconcussive event should not play in a game the next week, especially on a short week. It's unethical. I hear you. It's also above my pay grade. I don't have the information. I can speak as someone who's had multiple concussions, but I cannot speak on what that process looks like. I really can't. So if there's information that I don't know. If he's good, feels good to me, but we'll see. I understand the concerns. Head injuries are no joke. So I get it. We'll see. I don't think they would put him in harm's way just because. So I think they would have to feel pretty comfortable to put him out there. And the fact that he's practicing and all that stuff, I feel better about it. But I understand. Some of the hesitations for sure. I understand some hesitations by it. So listen, we got a big week. We could come away with 2 dubs. We come away with a dub against the Bengals and a dub at the trade deadline. So we'll see. We will see. This is a huge weekend of 49ers football because it's two-pronged. It's the game against the Bengals and the trade deadline is on Tuesday. So we're going to see, can the 49ers win both? Can they win versus the Bengals? Can they win the trade deadline? I think they need to be active. They have tons of money. They have tons of picks, 11 of them. They have the ammunition they need to get something done. Juan says for sure, no more quarterback sneaks this game if he plays. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see another QB sneak for a while. I really would. So we'll see. We will see. So appreciate everyone tapping in on this Friday. I'll be at the game on Sunday, so we'll be doing content just like we're at the game. So you guys typically know how that all goes, with content from the game and what that looks like. So we'll do live and stuff like that, most likely a little bit later, once the press conferences go through and all that type of stuff. I'll probably try to do it from the stadium and all that stuff, but we'll be posting content, all that good stuff. Grab your cookies on the way out, especially for this long one. We went an hour and a half today, but a lot of good stuff to cover. Brock Purdy looks like he's going to play. Trent Williams looks like he's going to play. Big bounce back game against the Bengals and big trade deadline coming up. So we're going to see what ultimately happens. But appreciate all you guys, as always, for tapping in. Appreciate you. Smash that like button on the live if you haven't already. And I will see you guys on Sunday. We're out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to